All right. So in 2005, so tomorrow is Touhyville Day. So I applied for it to be an actual day through Chase's calendar. I thought it was approved because I never heard anything back. And then I finally got an email about 5 years later that said that it was rejected. I went, you guys are really on top of it for someone who makes a calendar. Okay. Why don't you guys dive into clocks next? So I just decided it's a day. I don't care. It's a day. It's a Touhyville Day.
Yeah.
So Touhyville started in 2005. I was doing a radio show in Ottawa in the afternoon, and it was just called Steve Touhy in the afternoon. It was just the Steve Touhy Show in the afternoon. And it was a talk show very similar to this, except I was in a room by myself. So I had no other people there.
Don't know how you do that.
So
I don't know that I could talk to myself.
So
or talk to people, but talk to my like
a couple of different things. For one, radio back then was a little more caller driven than it is now. So I would take calls.
Okay.
The internet, I don't want to say the internet was new, but we weren't doing as much with it as we are now. There wasn't social media or anything like that for sure.
So did you prep with sheets?
Printed, yep.
Printed sheets.
Okay. So it was also one of the few jobs that I've had in radio when you talk about multitasking, where there was a big portion of my day was dedicated to getting the show ready.
What about that?
Right?
That would be a luxury.
Right? I mean, it really was. It was really cool. Yeah. I had some production to do. I'd have to do some commercials. But then it was get your show ready, you know?
Wow.
And so there was that. And then, but yeah, it was weird talking to myself. I mean, I succinctly remember doing a bit one day because it was about like exercise day or something like that. And so I got up from my microphone and I ran around the room, but talking the whole time. So you just kind of here we go. And I had a woman call in and she goes, okay, I got to know. Did you really get up and run around the room? And I said, yeah, I really did. I said, you know, we didn't have the luxury of being on video back then, you know. So, but I would have guests on. I would have, there used to be a magazine that radio people would get, and it was all people that wanted to be guests on radio shows. So it was authors and people, you know, pushing a certain website or something like that. You know, that's how I met Dr. Nikki. She was one of those people in that magazine.
Got it.
And I interviewed her with a book. She had a book. And that's how we started with that.
You started all those years ago.
Yeah. Wow. So that was like probably 2004, I think, when I first met her. So anyway, one of the plans was that at some point I would go from doing a talk show in the afternoon in the AM to doing a morning show on their FM station, which they did not have, even back then, had no one local on. It was ABC radio. There was a syndicated morning show that they had, and then disc jockeys on throughout the day playing music, but nothing local. There was nothing local about it. It was in a room no bigger than the bathroom here was where that station was.
Wow.
So they had to move studios, get ready for it. It was originally supposed to be me and my old partner, Mike. Then that fell through. So then I got, they said, we'd like you to meet with Andy Decker. He was a guy who used to work here at the radio stations. He's applied for a job with us a couple of times. He's looking for something part-time because him and his wife adopted two kids from China. And he was going to be more of a stay-at-home dad.
Got it.
So he was looking for something part-time in the mornings, and it just worked out. So he came in. We did a fake show together on a Saturday. We just recorded it, just did a 2-hour show together, just to see how our chemistry was, and it worked. And so then this room that was just a dark wood paneling room, me, on a Saturday I came in, me, my operations manager, Jay, and the general manager, Mark, all went and painted that room together on a Saturday. We went in and painted all the walls white to make it a little more brighter, and and took all the stuff out of the room, and because it was the first time it was being used for anything other than a production studio. So we did all that, made plans to start on February 28th, It was originally supposed to start on Valentine's Day, oddly enough,
That's
which is
wild.
very funny because that's when you and I started.
Mhm.
So, so we decided to push it to February 28th, and because it was the amusement park, the carnival, the whole idea, I went to Sam's Club and got hundreds of little packages of animal crackers.
Mhm.
And we went to a printer and got it printed up. Touhyville, new morning show on 95.3 The River with Steve Touhy and Andy Decker with our logo, with my little cartoon, not the one you guys see now. There was a local kid there that drew a cartoon of me, and not a caricature. He was a cartoon drawer
Mhm.
and wanted a career in that and drew it for me. And we used that as the logo. And I sat for the week before the show, stapling the top and bottom, just sat in my little apartment with no windows, stapled the front of the bag, put it in a box, but just hundreds of them by hand. Got them all boxed up. The day of, we had it worked out with 6 different local gas stations. Everybody at the station was in on it. All the salespeople were out. The only ones that weren't were Jay and this woman who used to do his show with, because he had to be on the air too. But even they were promoting it on the other station that this was going on, this
Mhm.
brand new show. They were at gas stations and they were handing out these cookies that were promoting us. The local McDonald's was putting flyers in bags all that morning.
That's cool.
They put us on their marquee,
Mhm.
brand new morning show, 95.3 The River, Touhyville, all this stuff.
Mhm.
So my dad was at one of the gas stations handing out the animal crackers.
And this was in Ottawa?
This was in Ottawa, Illinois.
That's crazy that the whole community did that.
It was
Because I told you that I was kind of thrown when you bought the place.
Mhm.
There wasn't anything even in the newspaper.
Well, okay. So, but by then, I had really had like a following. I wouldn't say the newspaper did anything for it.
Got it.
I think we may have had a trade with the newspaper. They may have put an ad, like we may have put an ad in the paper.
Got it. Got it.
But this wasn't the community. This was all people that worked at the station.
Got
It
it.
was all the salespeople. It was the
Mhm.
whole company got
The
behind
team
this.
got
Yeah,
behind it.
it was
Mhm.
really cool.
That's cool.
Yeah. So we did all that, and kicked it off that morning,
Mhm.
and that was February 28th, 2005. So today or
Mhm.
tomorrow would be 21 years since starting Touhyville.
Well, congratulations. That's a long time.
Thank you.
That's
Yeah. And it's been through a whole bunch of different incarnations. And sometimes I would even have, this is so silly. Sometimes I would even sit with myself and I was doing other shows and I'm like, this doesn't feel like Touhyville. I don't know if I should keep calling it Touhyville,
okay.
what I wanted Touhyville to be. So, but yeah, nonetheless, I'm so excited that of what Touhyville is now, 21 years later, and that we're doing this and what it's become and all that. So it's really like a cool thing. And
Now,
it's
what
cool to
I'd
think
love
that
to
all
know,
those people were involved in the start of it,
I'd love to know what your parents think.
about the
All
whole
of
thing.
it. Mhm. Mhm.
I think they're proud, I mean, I think they're proud of what it's become. I see it more when I'm around them, around other people where they like to, my dad likes to say my son the entrepreneur, and like things like that,
I
like,
don't mean that. I
you know.
mean the metamorphosis of it all. Like as a parent,
Mhm.
like when I
Yeah, I don't
watch
know.
my children, I'm so proud of them each individually,
Mm-hmm.
but they each have this path that's very different one from another.
Mm-hmm.
And then knowing that I birthed them, like, and they went from cute to athletic to,
Mm-hmm.
interested in art and interested in this. And I'm fascinated by all that and how it warms me in my heart.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Mm-hmm.
I wonder. I
Yeah.
just wonder. I don't really, speak to your parents all that much, but
Mhm.
I would love to know their perspective of when they worried about you, what they thought, what scared them, what made them, beam with pride, that kind of a thing.
Mhm.
I just
Mhm.
wonder.
I don't know. I mean,
See, and my parents died so early, like I knew they were beaming with pride at their grandchildren.
mhm,
I mean,
mhm,
they were crazy for cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs on the kids.
mhm, mhm,
Uh
mhm.
yeah. And I knew that they were proud of me, my work ethic
Yeah.
and who I was. My
Mhm,
dad was like really saw me as his princess, and like he would always say bad but like
mhm,
you just
mhm,
go, you just that's what I think of you.
mhm, mhm,
Strong and fierce
mhm,
and kind and compassionate. He's like you're all wrapped up into, and I remember like during those times when he would say stuff to me, it was extremely empowering because I didn't know.
mhm,
You don't really know. You don't talk about those things really, but he would.
mhm, mhm. Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
So,
So yeah, so it was really cool,
mhm.
that everyone was involved in it in the beginning,
Mhm.
and the team that it became, and that was one of the things that I loved about Ottawa, and I dream about here, because
Mhm.
we're not there yet,
Yeah.
um, is the whole team, thing. It was that was I think what made that one of my favorite places.
Mhm.
There were things about each place that I worked that I loved,
Yeah.
but that became one of my favorite places because of the whole team atmosphere, and that really fell apart. Like, I wonder if I ever went back, because
Well, we
my
did
friend
go back and it was very they remembered you and stuff like that.
but my friend Tony went and worked there for a short time
Mhm.
and hated it, left very quickly.
Wow.
Like, it was not
The same place.
what he was looking for,
Yeah, yeah.
and and a lot of things changed,
Mhm.
so I'm sure, I mean, I know
Mhm.
Jay is still there, but yeah, it's but it was one of those team things that sometimes you can't go back, you can't like recreate, you know what I mean, like
Mhm.
with new people you might be able to, but you can't, like, once it's gone kind of
Yeah.
thing, so um and then uh over the
So
years,
Andy was your favorite teammate, correct?
I don't
Or
mean
what?
no, I don't mean team like the show, I mean team like
The
the
whole
whole
staff?
station, yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
because we had, what, 4 or 5 salespeople, we had a
Mhm.
sales manager, we had a general
Yeah.
manager who was one of my previous general managers,
Mhm.
then he left and the sales manager moved into the GM spot, um, we just had fun with each other, we were all pulling in the same direction,
Mhm.
we would go out, like, on-air people would go out with salespeople
Mhm.
to talk to them about what we can do on the air to help their businesses and
Yeah.
things like that. Um,
I miss
we
those
had
days when it
team
wasn't
trips,
email. It
you
wasn't
know.
like I think since COVID, it's kind of turned into email, text,
Mhm,
phone call
mhm, mhm,
as opposed to in person, like let's get to the bottom of this. And for me, it was a lot quicker because I feel like the clients knew all that you were going to give to their business.
mhm,
And then once you proved it, forget it. I
mhm.
mean, you were in.
Yeah. Well, I think 2 things have happened since then.
Mhm.
1, COVID,
Yeah.
and 2, I think businesses have a lot less people working for them
Yeah, so
now.
they're doing
So
everything.
everybody is
Mhm.
doing 50 different things and just
Mhm.
don't have time to do
Yeah.
anything. I don't want to say anything the right way, but a lot of things the right way.
Yeah.
So, um, but yeah, so I have a ton of fond memories of Touhyville there with Andy,
Mhm.
and then and not all cupcakes and ice cream either. I mean,
Mhm.
they merged with a bigger company. They came in, they made us get rid of Andy. They wanted me to play more music. It became a whole
Mhm.
bad thing. That's why I did leave. It's
Yeah.
and so
And you wouldn't be here had that not happened.
we
So it's
we would have never
interesting
met.
when you
We would have never met.
yeah.
I
Mhm.
left there to go to Kankakee,
Right.
and then left Kankakee to go back to stand up for a little while,
Mhm.
and then stopped Touhyville altogether and did Tomato and Tui. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And
yeah, yeah.
then that stopped, and then I went back to Touhyville, and then
Yeah.
um so by the way, Touhyville came from my old newsman in Ottawa when I did the afternoon show. His name was Jim French, and he would come in live, and we had like 15 minutes of news to start the show, which I was fine with because I was a smoker back then. So, but he would always end his news by saying, "All right, Steve, what's going on in Touhyville today?" And that's where it came from. He was the one that came up with that. So,
Yeah.
and
I love that.
and Jim French was an old newsman who used to be a DJ in the 50s for actual sock hops. That's how it then went into radio. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So Carter says, I'm very proud of you, Steve. Both of you did so good with this. Thank you, Carter. That's very nice. We appreciate it. And sooner or later, I will dive into more stories about the whole career and stuff. I've said, I think going on 5 years now, that I was going to start a podcast with that. And I think I've done 2 episodes. So talk about never having enough time to do it all the right way. But I love telling stories about my radio career, because it's what it does for me. It might not do anything for anybody else, but it makes me remember.
Yeah.
It gives me that sense of nostalgia and fun and love and all that stuff. So